News on the hour on the half and minute break. Stay informed, stay connected. From the WMAY Newsroom, I'm Kevin Hart.
Talk to Jim at CBD Botanicals.
In my previous career, I was on the medical side of things. So I really dug into things and I started researching cannabinoids and specifically CBD, CBG, CBN, Delta 8, as we like to call it, Delta Great. The reality is you don't have a Zoloft system. You don't have an atorvastatin or Lipitor system or a hydrocodone system, but you do have an endocannabinoid system. Endo meaning inside, cannabinoid, that's what all of these are, to help you bring this in, break it down, put it to work, and then get rid of it. And that's why we don't have very many side effects, if any, with these products either, because side effects occur with your body's inability to break down or excrete a certain metabolite. So if I can break it down and get rid of it, my body doesn't reject it. My body doesn't resist it or argue with it in a sense.
Located at 2538 South Skokie Mill Road, right next to the Walgreens. Talk to Jim and the team down at CBD Botanicals so they can hook you up with the right product for you.
Drive your family in style this school year in a brand new Jeep Grand Cherokee L from Landmark Chrysler Jeep in Springfield. The Grand Cherokee L is the hottest new Jeep product to hit the streets and is taking the country by storm. With all of the luxury of the Grand Cherokee, but bigger and better. Featuring 3 rows of seating, best-in-class second-row legroom, and 16-way adjustable seats. It's luxury extended. Shop the all-new Grand Cherokee L during the Make This Summer event at Landmark Chrysler Jeep Prairie Crossing. Drive your family in style this school year in a brand new Jeep Grand Cherokee L from Landmark Chrysler Jeep in Springfield. The Grand Cherokee L is the hottest new product to hit the streets and taking the country by storm. With all of the luxury of a Grand Cherokee, but bigger and better. Featuring 3 rows of seating, over 110 safety features, and the all-new U-Connect 5. It's luxury extended. Shop the all-new Grand Cherokee L during this Make This the Summer event at Landmark Chrysler Jeep Prairie Crossing.
This is WMAY on 92.7, 94.7, and 970 AM.
Yesterday, Governor J.B. Pritzker gave his announced mandates at 10 o'clock in the morning. Just before the governor took the podium, House Minority Leader Jim Durkin shared with members of the media a letter that he sent the governor early Thursday morning. That letter talked about how the governor called Leader Durkin Wednesday night to get his input on how to help curb the increasing cases of COVID-19 and limit the stress on hospitals. And Durkin said that he needs to call the legislature back to deal with this. And also, if there are going to be mandates, the legislature must play a role. Then Durkin said they hung up, and he instantly saw that the announcement was made to the Chicago Sun-Times of what was going on. So I did connect with Leader Durkin yesterday afternoon. I share that conversation with you now. Here is House Minority Leader Jim Durkin in a conversation I had with him about the mandates, a possible special session, and also we talked a little bit about legislative maps. So here's Leader Jim Durkin.
Leader, you sent the letter to the governor before his announcement. Give us an overview of what that letter was.
Well, here's how it started. Yesterday, the governor called me up and talked a little bit about the numbers in downstate Illinois. It was great, but then he immediately turned and asked me what my suggestions were to help fight the virus. And I told him that, well, it goes back to what I've been saying for the past year. Bring the legislature in. Let's have public hearings because there's brighter people out there than he and I who can provide some good, solid, recommendations. And the conversation got a little bit, I would say, a little aggressive. But I was disappointed, and the reason I sent the letter is that within 5 minutes after we finished our phone call, I saw a news feed that said that the governor had just issued an indoor mask mandate and also a mandate on public education on school teachers throughout Illinois. That was not raised to me, and I just really feel the governor was, I'm not sure what the intent of the call was, but I felt that he was being disingenuous with me by asking me what are my recommendations when he was already, finishing the ink on his signature on his executive orders. So I want him to know that we're willing to work with him, but he's got to stop acting as if the state of Illinois is his monarchy. And that's how he's been operating the past year and a half since the beginning of this crisis. It's not a difficult process.
He said that ultimately the governor should call a special session to get the legislature involved in this. See, the House Speaker can call the House back, the Senate President can call the Senate back, the governor can call both chambers back to deal with specific issues. Again, House Minority Leader Jim Durkin.
We've done this in the past, but if there ever was a time for us to do it, it's right now. We will be in Springfield next week to take up the redistricting mess that the Democrats and the governor have created. But while we're there, we should be taking testimony from healthcare professionals, from school boards, from public health departments, and interested parties of how is the best way to manage this moving forward. Because the governor is not a doctor. He has not served on a school board. He's not part of a public health department. And you know what? Either am I. But that's why I think that there's better people out there than he and I, and particularly him, to make recommendations for us. His decisions over the past year and a half they've been haphazard, and they've not been consistent. So if he listened to the legislature, we may not have had some of the mishaps we've seen over the past year and a half. But more importantly, he refuses not only to negotiate with the co-equal branch of government, the House of Representatives and the state Senate, but he shuts out families and local school board members. And that really is where the biggest problem that I have with him is that he refuses to listen to the parents, school board members on major issues regarding the day-to-day lives of their kids in their educational setting.
The governor responded to your letter today, and I'll get your reaction to that. But one thing you also noted in your letter was kind of the bit of the disconnection of the political messages he's putting out and the dire situation he's painting by calling these mandates. Unpack that for us.
Well, you know what? I'm confused by that, and the governor, I think, has done too early of a victory lap on this, but now is going back down on a dark road of the future of Illinois. I would say that he's best served using his time and his efforts to work with Illinois citizens to stop the spread, to reduce the health crisis that we have, as opposed to promoting himself, which he can because he's a very fortunate person.
And again, we're sharing a conversation I had with House Minority Leader Jim Durkin yesterday afternoon after the governor's announcements. The leader sent a letter to Governor J.B. Pritzker before the announcement and shared that he's a little confused by the political messages that the governor's bought, essentially praising some of the work he's done, seeming to take a victory lap, and that's political messaging that's out right now as part of the governor's reelection campaign. But Durkin highlighting how it seems to contradict what is ultimately now with the governor putting out those mandates. More from House Minority Leader Jim Durkin.
Which is what he's doing on the airwaves. This is a very crucial time in the state of Illinois for the future of our children in K through 12, also in college, and our employers. And it is not helping the situation by promoting his election at this point on the backs of this virus.
You requested N95 masks. The governor sending a letter your way saying that he appreciates the request and will look to make that happen. He also urged you to bring forward more ideas. Have you talked to Speaker Welch about this? I did message the Speaker's office, and they simply replied and said that they support the Pritzker administration's efforts in this. I have yet to hear back from the Senate president, but what does this ultimately mean for the everyday taxpayer out there?
I just lost you about 30 seconds ago.
I apologize. So reading the letter here from the governor to you, and he also talked about this at the press conference, saying that you guys, it's an equal branch of government, and they could call themselves back anytime. Have you talked to the speaker about this, or have you heard anything about the Senate president wanting to call a special session to deal with these things? And what about the Joint Commission on Administrative Rules?
Look, here's the thing. The Democrat leaders, specifically Speaker Welch, is not going to do anything that will without the governor's permission. I've been around long enough, and I know how these guys operate. That's why I went specifically to the governor to say that you have the authority to call both chambers in. I don't need, first of all, Speaker Welch is not going to do it. I'm not going to waste effort with that. That's why the governor has that authority. I don't have that authority. The governor can, and he should just do it, and let's move forward with it. And if he truly believes that there is a role for the legislature in the betterment of our state and also for a healthier environment for our children, then he should call for that hearing because he is not an expert. And I will say that the recommendations and some of the advice he's received over the past year and a half has been inconsistent, and it has not been in the best interest of our large, small employers, but also for the educational environment and social environment for our children.
That's House Minority Leader Jim Durkin. Talked with him yesterday afternoon after the governor's mask and vaccine mandate announcement. And we also talked a bit about the map-making process. He ultimately criticized Democrats, saying that they've already drawn the revised maps, and they're going to sneak this in last minute, August 31st, when they come back. But ultimately, he said when they do come back, they should take up some of the COVID-19 situation in legislative form, or at least hold some hearings. But the House Minority Leader also in his letter had a PS, a postscript, and he demanded more information about the LaSalle Veterans Home deaths. And he said that he has not yet gotten that information that Republicans continue to demand. So that is a little bit of the conversation I had with House Minority Leader Jim Durkin here on the WMAY Morning News Feed, sharing that with you as I keep you informed and keep you connected. All right, take a break, come back, and talk about something that you've got coming up for a golf outing of a different sort. So stay tuned. We'll tell you about the Blaney Challenge coming up on the WMAY Morning News Feed. All right, chance of showers and storms, the high of 92. The heat index going to be up to 103 with the heat advisory. Then overnight, mostly clear, the low of 73. Not much break from the heat Saturday, the high of 91 with a heat index of 100. Then Sunday, we got a chance of showers, the high of 90. Monday, chance of showers, 86 the high. Right now, about 70 degrees. Stay informed, stay connected. It's 7:21 on WMAY from Culver's West on Wabash.
$15 per hour is a lot of cheddar. Culver's West on Wabash pays top dollar for adult employees. Apply in person today.
Love your mattress now? Wait till you try it on an adjustable base from Verlo. With just the touch of a button, you can elevate your head and kick up your feet to the most comfortable position imaginable for watching TV, reading, lounging, or whatever. And when you're ready, the adjustable base